Greetings, welcome back. It's Catherine and Brian from Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario, bringing you our Indigenous perspective on all things cartomancy. And we're giving a reading about spring, pre-spring, for the week of February 24th to March 2nd, which is my birthday. So this is interesting. All right, so the decks we're using are the same decks as in last week's reading, so I always post a picture every week of the decks used, and I describe the decks as I did in the previous video, so you can check out the last week video if it helps. And there's a flow because we always use the same decks 2 weeks in a row in different orientations to each other, of course. But it seems to add a depth in the kind of a half a month, half a moon cycle perspective. So, I believe we have a new moon in this week. And I'm just going to grab my folio here, if I can get it out, and see what the exact day is that we transition to this new time. So the new moon is on February 27th at 7:45 p.m. and the grandmother is Weighs the Truth. And that's an important grandmother. So let me just see if I can get her information to share. All right. It's a fiddly day today here. Okay. So, third moon cycle is Weighs the Truth. The keeper of equality and the guardian of justice, the fair judge of divine law and the destroyer of deception, the mother of truth and protection of the underdog. Protection of the underdog, interesting. The mother of self-determination and responsibility. She teaches us how to find the ability to respond and how to be self-determined. How to feed the positive, not the negative, by using divine law. How to use equality with justice, being accountable for our actions and words. How to use personal integrity, ethics, and values to find healing solutions. She teaches us how to accept the truth. And in acceptance of the truth of a situation, the Buddhist principle is that we find compassion and the capacity in acceptance not to feel harmed by a situation. Wise words for the grandmother of my birth moon. So let's go to the cards, Brian, based on all of that. Well, if she's the grandmother of justice, justice is back again with us this week. She was a clarifier last week. So we start with things in balance. This is the 11 card, which reduces to 2, and 2 is balance, and there's 2 right there. So keeping things in balance. Justice is prevailing. So that happens to be an overarching paradigm or concept for this past part of the month. It's clarified here by the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands, we know wands to be fire. Fire is the element of passionate, the receiving of what inspires. Inspiritus is from the Latin to be inspired, to be in spirit, for spirit to be within us. And the passion within us then leads us in the correct direction of what we can create. Justice is making sure that Paige is doing the right examination of what it is we need to do. And the Page is asking us to look with the young, fresh eyes of the archetype of the Page, which is usually a young, not matured person who's seeing things and experiencing things new for the first time. This makes me think that perhaps many of us, because this is a collective reading, as always, have let go of things which used to give us a great sense of passion and joy. Therefore, we are being asked to go back and think about those things. And if that joy was removed from us unjustly, justice is bringing it back. So there's a clarity here, and there's a balance. The Two of Pentacles is balancing disparate things, and doing so with grace and dignity. So although she's standing on top of a building on one foot and juggling what looks like plates on the alpha sign there, that's not an alpha sign, it's a lemniscate, the figure 8 that's pure balance. She's doing it with ease and grace. So are we. And the card that clarifies it is no rain today. So there needs to be no sadness in this time. It's really hard not to succumb to the February blahs. I know I have this year, and it's not a great place to be in. No light can get in when we're within an internal darkness. So no rain today. All you have to do is take a day at a time. It's part of what Ways the Truth said, the power of letting the light in. And so speaking with that grandmother, doing a ritual for that grandmother, allows us to make each day one at a time, a day with no rain. The third card is the Queen of Pentacles, the one that has it all, has all the capacity for gifting self, family, usually in the small community, not as magnanimously focused as the King of Pentacles, which is looking at how legacy gets formed for next generations. The Queen is more about what exists now and makes sure that self-care is part of the process. She's a lot like the Empress, taking care of what is in the moment, because if you take care of the foundation, then her partner, the king, can take care of the community. This is clarified by the card from the Imbolc Oracle, and this is called Bloodstone. Closing your eyes to the truths of reality will only connect you with the illusions that get created. So very much the need to carry bloodstone so that we keep things in balance. If you look at bloodstone, it's both red and green in color, and it's for the heart chakra, but it helps us to stay away from illusion. Here we have a return of the star. She appeared in last week's video in a little bit different perspective. Hopes and dreams, and also can be lighting the path. She's not about illusion, more like that's more of the moon can represent illusion, but the stars appear in a number of the cards. This is about healing something. And it's clarified by the mirror. This is the front of the card and the back of the card. The mirror is the reflections. What are we reflecting back at us? Are we reflecting sadness and unhealthy ideas and dull and blah, or are we reflecting the light that can be in our eyes? And that's what this card is saying. Look at what you're reflecting. Sometimes we feel hollow And so the words we say don't have that impact that they should. So this is speaking in truth. This is speaking in balance. This is reflecting from the inside out. The only card that came up in reverse was the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is that feeling of being disconnected, wasted, not connected where the light is shining from the windows here. But it's in reverse, meaning we're coming out of that. So it's a coming out of the February blahs and coming out of that feeling of not being able to connect with people. It's clarified here by the Devil. The Devil is, in this sense, reminding us not to be lulled into a passive, not to let sitting on the couch and binging on Netflix, because that was the pattern of the winter when we couldn't do much of anything else. We need to get out of that. Don't let old habits stop you from reconnecting with life and beginnings of life. The following is the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups, we've had another page here. Now we have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is about finding joy and beauty. The Page of Cups is often a young artist finding what kind of creativity is the most joyful to that page. Art is something that a lot of people have told me over the years when I've been doing counseling. Artistic endeavors are things they started and then gave up on. That could be playing piano. It could be a number of things. It could be voice. It could be actual paints or sewing or something. This is the time to re-explore with fresh eyes what reconnects you to life. And it's clarified by another gemstone, the peach moonstone. It says, there is reason in the flow of what is and what needs to be. So we are meant to go with the flow and not stagnate. These are cards of stagnation. What we end up with by the end of the week, and this is the last tarot card, these are our additional cards, is the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles, we have the Queen of Pentacles. They're both saying a lot of the same thing. The lady with the birds and flowers, and has everything. Looks a bit like Frida Kahlo with a basket of fruit on her head. That's always fun. Has everything and should be proud of having everything and feeling satisfied that despite what we might have felt during the winter, we really do have everything. And is clarified by clay. As the snows ebb along the riverbank, the clays emerge. And the clays are full of minerals and pigments and are healing. We use them in indigenous traditions in healing as surface treatments. Clays are used for so much, and they represent also layers of sediment, layers of decay, but they're in colors, and eventually the sediments harden and turn into stones. So we are to be as malleable as clay, and to know that to be in that way soothes the things that have troubled us over the winter. The final two cards from the Love deck, Whispers of Love, is the I Love You card. These are powerful words. No matter whether you're saying them to your cat, or your partner, or your parent, or your child, or whomever, it's important to actually say and not assume that the person you're speaking to knows that you love them. We all know the people who we are with typically love us, but to say the words is to put the power of spirit into it. And finally, we have Owl, good old Owl with wisdom. And it's hard to see, but there's a beautiful woman standing here, connected with Owl, reaching up and holding an owl. This is a card of grace, and Spirit is saying that we have a great deal of grace coming between Justice, between the Queen, between the Nine of Pentacles, the Pages. Yeah, we've got it all. So you can flip the camera there, Brian. What a beautiful week. And I look forward to how it all manifests for my birthday. So we thank you for staying to the end, and we thank you for your kindness and support and all those good things. Miigwech, aho, and peace.